Howdy, welcome. It's Johnny. It's Team Superdad, friends, family, members around the world. It's great to have you. We are doing live streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all at noon or 12 minutes past noon, as we are today. So it's good to have you here. As the leader of the Team Superdad community, I end up having conversations with dads pretty much all across the week. Dads, men clearly, but some of it is work, some of it's family, some of it's struggles, and inside of that struggles, some of it's pretty full on. And this week we're only on Wednesday, right? This week we're only on Wednesday, but I have had literally 3 conversations this week where the subject of suicide has come into it. And that's there. Some of them have been messenger conversations. Others have been inside of dad groups, and one's been one-on-one. So if you're watching this, then welcome. Basically, you could say this is a tough subject, but I want to speak about it in a positive way. It's quite likely in these tricky times, which is a boring thing to say, but it is literally what's going on. It is bonkers. Different parts of the country are in lockdown, people worrying about money, people being having their relationship put under intense scrutiny, half term with kids, money worries, and if you've got addictions, if you've got relationship troubles, blimey, even getting into domestic violence situations, then there's a lot of crap going on. Suicide is sadly something that happens a lot in the male community. It's stupid to say it doesn't happen to women, because it does, but in men. And I was in a conversation the other day. What was they said? Oh, in the building industry. And this guy was from America, but I dare say the numbers are similar in the UK. He said in the building industry, they have an even higher than average percentage of suicides in men in the building industry. So, wowzers! There's 2 things, right? I'm not a medical person, so I'm not giving medical advice or anything that you can take from this is anecdotal. It's me sharing my experiences, and yeah, some of it is coaching that I do with dads, but I say to them as well, like, if it's evident that we're in a medical situation, if it's evident that you are depressed, then you can take a depression test. There's lots of them. You search, am I depressed? The NHS has got a depression like out of 10 checklist. But the thing I want to speak about today, and if you are watching, then tell me hello, give me a little share, comment. If you're watching on the replay, #replay, all that stuff. If you're listening on the podcast, let's subscribe, because I want to spread the word. These lives are part of reaching out to as many dads as possible and growing the Team Superdad community. And so this is about choosing rock bottom over death. And there's concepts that I've heard before about suicide, and the madness of it is that if you can consider that we are living in this body, other people will have different views on this, right? But this is very much my view. We are a being, we are a spirit being living in this body. We're given this body for use on this planet. The pressures, the inner voice, the circumstances that lead us to start thinking about taking our own life are more often than not, and this is particularly the case if it's not a medical condition. If you've got clinical depression, if you've got a mental health problem, paranoid schizophrenia, something that sadly led to my brother's death, these are things that are medical conditions, and they need to be addressed in a medical fashion with ongoing medication and support. But if you've got, I believe it's called like a circumstantial depression, something from a life event or a pressure that you're experiencing right now. It could even be as a result of an addiction, which in itself is a slightly different subject. But if your suicidal thoughts, if your depression is coming around circumstances like, I don't know what to do here, we're running out of money and I've got nowhere else to turn, I've lost my job and I can't tell my wife, where the kids are still ill and giving me, and I can't focus. I don't know where to focus my time, on work, on the children, on my relationship, or perhaps the children are teenagers. And now you've got pressures from teenagers. That's putting pressure on your relationship. And you're in the middle of it going, I just can't cope. It's tearing me apart. There has to come a time, right? Suicide is literally a choice. That should be quite a clear thing. But the danger of it, speaking from personal experiences, and you might have heard me speak about this before, is that when you're in a situation where you're desperately trying to find an answer, shall I leave her? Shall I stay? What about the kids? What about money? Where will I live? Like it's that's my daughter with a hairdryer. As you try to look for solutions, one by one, they start to drop away. And actually, suicide is a choice, is a solution that's kind of always there for all of us. And I think that's why it ends up being the choice that many men take, because it's quite clean. It's quite I know what's going to happen as a result of that. And because it's finite, it seems like a plausible way out. Regardless of the fact that if we are a being that's using this body for the time that we're here, we may well indeed take those feelings, take those thoughts, take that inner voice with us. So we discard the body. And if you're into the spiritual realm and what we are after we die, then there's no proof, yes or no, that you won't take those thoughts, concerns, and pressures with you to the other side. So you're going to throw away this body, when actually the thing to deal with, the thing where the release is found, is in dealing with the issues. It looks often like those issues can't be resolved. And speaking as the one that it could be work, could be money. I need more money. I can't get more money. I'm doomed. Right? It's a chapter. It's circumstances. It's a period of your life that, with the right support and encouragement, with making sure that you share that pain, that struggle with others, you can start to build some resilience and some results around it. It literally is like painting your future and starting to build it brick by brick by brick. Is it going to be easy? Is bits of it going to fall down along the way? Of course it is. Things that are tough are hard to get, but they're worth it. Like, they don't just give out Olympic medals to anybody. You've got to pretty much dedicate your whole life to getting to that point on that day where you can run that race and have a chance to actually win it. So, from my experience, there came a time when eventually staying in the painful situation, staying in the relationship, became more painful than the fear of leaving it, right? Ironically, actually, when I left, it went okay. Like, it wasn't easy, but it went okay. All the things that I was worried about kind of didn't really happen. They thought that there was challenges with the kids, with separation, with where to live, with money. But in terms of resolving them and moving forward, they weren't as finite and as dead end as death, basically. So if you're fearing a situation, if you're under intense pressure, then you've got to get out of your head and around others. So whether it's a men's group like Team Superdad, whether it's a church, I've got relatively poor experiences of that, but you can trust many churches. But friend groups, your family, wherever you can find a football team, like wherever you can find some connection and opportunity to discuss. And I don't mean like pour your guts out to people, but literally saying to someone, I'm having a tough time. Can I tell you about it? Or I've got to talk about this job situation or this relationship struggle I'm having. Can I talk to you about it? And that's the thing. It's choosing rock bottom over death. Because regardless of the bit about chucking the body away, your children need you. There are people in this world who are going to be upset about the situation. Or worst of all, you're going to become another dad, another person on that stats list who everyone's wondering, what the hell happened? How could we not have done more for that person? So rock bottom is a moment in time that if you can consciously choose it and say, no matter what I think or what I fear is on the other side, it's at least better than taking my own life. It is a path and a process. For me, it was fitness. It was going and speaking to the doctor and having taken medicine. My daughter's passing me a note. Hi. She just called me a stinky poo. Right. Love it. So getting my fitness, your energy levels, feel good factor, going out and getting fit is a break from sitting on the couch or stressing about the things. If you can go and run with someone, then maybe even better. But getting out and getting the fresh air and sweat away that anxiety. A coach and or counseling, like trying to deal with something on your own is intense. It is likely not going to resolve the matter for you. If anything, you're just going to spin yourself into a spiral of stress and strain. And that in itself, you can look inside that stress and strain for a way out. And when the only way out that looks clean is topping yourself, then that's how it ends up being a solution for too many men. Don't let it be. Your fitness, a coach or counseling. I spent about 18 months in counseling. That wasn't just for, as it turned out, it wasn't just for leaving my marriage that wasn't working, but it was about the pain and the struggle that I'd picked up along the way and was now trying to live my marriage from the context of all that struggle and angst about love, my mum, women, affection, being wanted, fearing rejection. Like it was, if I'm taking responsibility for my side of the marriage, it's evident that there was a lot that I could have done better, right down to choosing my perfect partner. But whatever your thing is, you got to work it out with someone. A coach will work with you to move forward, to lead you in the right direction, to help you take choices that are going to resolve matters for you. A counselor will likely work backwards and start to unwrap and unpack some of the mess that has got you to where you are so that you can understand yourself better. Two pretty different things. Speaking to your doctor is about the medical side of it. Like, what I didn't know for so long, what I had to come to accept was depression is a medical problem. Like, it starts with circumstances, yes, but when you sit in it for long enough, just like getting into the bath, you're going to get wet. When you sit in stress and strain for long enough, it has an effect on you physically, which leads to depression. And maybe the fitness and the counseling and taking up new interests and speaking to friends can help you through that. But it could be that you've got to a point where you need some support to rebalance your mind and to move you forward. I spent 9 to 10 months taking citalopram, and it was a key part, not the key part, but it was an element in my recovery and rebuild. Bearing in mind, my struggles had gone on for about 6 years up to that point. Old friends and new friends, it kind of was the point I was making before, but you've got to find some people to hang out with. Human beings are not programmed to live necessarily on our own. It's important that we get out and speak to people, not just because to share what's going on for us, but when you give other people the opportunity to talk as well, then it's going to be really comforting to know that you're not the only one who's going through stuff. You're not the only one who has aches and pains, troubles with their kids, money worries, doesn't like their job, like whatever it might be. Knowing you're not the only one is an incredible relief. Get out there and find that out. Loads of times I hear people say, oh, but I've got no family, I've got no friends. Like, we have neighbors, we have meetups and football teams and singing groups and so many things, although tricky under these COVID times, perhaps. But get online, find a men's group, come and join Team Superdad, find something that gives you an outlet for it. Don't be right that there's no one out there. Go and prove that point wrong by finding a group to be part of. And then finally, getting into the no's. No negative media, right? If you're someone who watches soap operas, turn them off. For fuck's sake, turn them off. But equally, like gritty dramas with loads of murders and horror films. And like sometimes when I talk to people about the kind of media and content and entertainment they're consuming, it's like alarming that on the one hand they're talking about how much they're struggling, and on the other hand they talk about how much stress and strain they're consuming. So cut that out, right? YouTube is absolutely full of motivational videos, empowering stories. Goalcast is, has loads of them. You can look at, your motivational speakers, like for women, Mel Robertson, Lisa Nichols, and then for the men, obviously, well, new guys like Jay Shetty, classics like Zig Ziglar and Les Brown, Tony Robbins. There's a plethora out there. And when you start to Dr. Wayne Dyer, when you start watch one set of videos, then obviously YouTube's going to show you others, right? Let that be what you watch. Watch funny things that light you up. If you're into documentaries, watch those. But like,
Cookie World C.
watch Cookie World C on YouTube. If it's time with your kids, then definitely Rosie's suggestion is actually really good. Find some lightness in watching what your kids watch with them. Create moments around it. And then what you consume, like food and drink and drugs wise, just get really wise to it. These are old, tried and trusted. You see them everywhere, and it's easy to go, oh yeah, whatever. But if you're not drinking enough water, then your body is literally being driven to its limit. It's like struggling to get through the day. If on top of that, you're drinking loads of coffee, alcohol in the evening, it's like a double whammy, basically. If you ever tried to put diesel in a petrol car, then you quickly see how that goes. I've done it. It cost a lot of money and nearly a whole day sat by the side of the motorway. Fuck. One of the most annoying things ever. And you realize quite quickly, literally 500 meters outside of the petrol station, I knew exactly what I'd done. So don't put that crap in your body. If you're feeling down already, then you got to know that there's some work to do to make yourself feel better. It's choosing rock bottom over death, because quite frankly, your kids need you, your family loves you. And like, how old are you? I'm 46. I'm pretty sure I've got about another 40 years to go. So I'm only just over halfway. Like, who gets to decide that the next 40 years are going to be the same as the last 40 years? And if you're really honest with yourself, it's probably not your whole life that's been grim. It's probably just a period of time that you're going through right now. Make a list of the things that aren't working for you. See what it's going to take to strike them off. And don't be fearful of what that might look like. Fear. Do you know when you ask people what their greatest fear in life? After public speaking, bizarrely, after public speaking comes death, right? Public speaking and then death. Two things people are most scared of. I'd rather do public speaking than take my own life. But honestly, whatever that struggle looks like, it's not half as complex or as challenging as topping yourself. So I'm not making light of this subject. The truth is, though, that unless you're clinically ill, like if this is a circumstantial depression, fixing it is not just possible, but what you can learn about yourself and what you can create from conscientiously fixing it could be exactly what you are upset about not having right now. Paint a picture of your future, build the bricks, make it happen. If you've got any questions, comments, if you're a dad who wants to work on this sort of stuff, then come on over to Team Super Dad. You can do one-on-one dad coaching with me, Johnny Jensen. You can join any of our groups. There's the free dad call on a Monday night. You are welcome. You can bring whatever you want to the dad call. It's a private, not recorded, not shared, closed men's group. It's free. It's on a Monday night. Come over to Team Super Dad and register for that. Or send me a DM, a direct message. Whatever you do something before you take your own life. Tough one. Team Super Dad out. Bye.